If you're a video editor and you want to create premium reels exactly like this video shows you exactly how. We're going to cover my entire process from color grading, creating smooth zooms, creating hooks, adding a text animations, creating motion graphics. So don't skip anything because this won't be your typical step-by-step tutorial. And as you know, I never started with a blank project, so this is my editing template for this Instagram reel, and I'm going to take this footage. This is the reel that we are going to be editing. And now I want to sprint through this footage and do a basic cut. So if you're new to editing, instead of B making your cut, use a S because that's gonna split these two clips just like this. And now if you need to remove anything, let's say to the right, you just hit on W and it deletes everything to the right, but make sure that you turn on this automatic track magnet. And if you want to remove anything to the left, you just hit on Q and it deletes everything to the left. So now I'm gonna sprint through this entire video and just make a basic cut, and I see you on stage number 2, and that's gonna be our J cut. I have done my raw cut, and now what I want to do, I want to select all these clips and I hit on right click and extract audio so I can make our J cuts. And I want to take this audio and drag it below this first audio layer, and I want to have this audio wave ends and this audio wave starts. So now when I play it, it starts immediately. But what I also gotta do, I gotta position my playhead where this second audio starts, and I want to take this first video and just cut it up like this. So there is the audio synchronization between the video and the audio, and I just continue like this for the rest of my clips. So here again, I overlap the audio and I bring this like that, and I just keep going for rest of the videos. And now when we have finished our J cuts, I'm gonna take this key zone template, save zone on the timeline, and I stretch it along the entire clip, and I just decrease the opacity so I can see through. And now I'm gonna align all the clips, and I want to make sure that all of these clips are aligned exactly in the center. And I always adjust my first clip, and now I look at this setting, scale 115 X and Y positions, and I apply this to the rest of my clips. And now when I have aligned my clips, I want to start creating zooms. So the first thing, I want to have a sharp zoom out at the beginning. So I select keyframe on the transform on the very first clip, and I hold shift right arrow 2 times, 1, 2, and then I activate another keyframe. I go back to my first keyframe and I bring the scale to 250. Now I open a variable speed animation. You can either right click and hit on show variable speed animation, but I use a shortcut option E. Now I select both of these keyframes and I hold shift E to smooth them out. But this is not going to work if you haven't set it up here in the shortcut setting. So make sure that you go to the shortcut setting, and this is the function easing, set it up to your favorite shortcut. And now I just take this blue line and I drag it closer to the left. And I also select this second keyframe and I adjust this blue line a little bit like this. And now, as you can see, it makes this super smooth zoom out at the beginning. Everything that you are seeing in this video, text presets, highlighters, and much more, it's included inside my Keyplux pack. It's designed for complete beginners, so even if you never edited before, you can still create premium reels using CapCut. All you do is to drag and drop on the timeline, and inside the pack, you will get a video walkthrough tutorials so you know exactly where to click. You also get a bonus module on how to build your own master template, but we are dropping a massive update July 1st. So if you want to grab it before the price goes up, after we add all the new presets, stylized motion graphics, backgrounds, and my personal editing pack, the link is down in the description. And here when I say just one premium reel, I also want to have another zoom. So I add keyframe and I position my playhead exactly here where this audio wave ends, and I make a smooth small zoom. And again, I do the same thing. Here I'm gonna zoom this up completely and I just bring it lower like that. So I can create this jump cut transition between these two scenes. So what I only did, I increased the scale to 150. And now on this following clip, I set this setting exactly as on this previous clip. So X, Y, and scale. So I start with the scale 150, -40, and 54. And now what I want to do is I want to do a zoom out. So I activate a keyframe and I go with my playhead here where this audio wave ends, and I zoom it up like this. And now I open a variable speed animation and I just adjust the keyframes like this. Now when you play it, you have this smooth zoom out. Here I want to do another jump cut. So I just zoom it up like this, bring it somewhere here. This is the eye level. So I'm always aiming to have eyes somewhere in this section, just like so. And now I also want to do a zoom out on this following and very last clip. So I copy this setting, -65. So this I gotta reset. I put -65 to Ys and scale to 139, and I set the keyframe and I just position my playhead here where this audio wave ends. Now I can scale it up like so. Now I just select both of these keyframes and I smooth them
All you
out.
have
Now we're gonna be editing hook, and I already designed this entire reel. Before I went to editing, it looks like this. So this is my plan for the hook. I have included a text for my hook. So premium reels in less time. And here I have a my reels playing in those three preview cards. So I have prepared all the footage already. So this is what we're going to be creating. And for the hook, I'm going to use this graphic hook from my pack. And I just want to show you my workflow, how I edit videos super fast and how you can do
it usually
exactly
takes
the same. So don't worry about that. It says 3 ways to grow your biceps, because you can always open this hook and use it as a template. And now I'm just going to go to import and I select all these reels, and I want to have this in the middle. So I'm going to select this guy and I just drop it in the middle. And I also have to go back to this and adjust the saturation, because I have set the saturation on these. And now I just position it in the middle, increase the size a little bit. And now I do the same thing with these two. Don't worry about it because we're going to trim it on. I do the same thing with this one and just hit on replace. Make sure that we turn off the audio on these. And now let's do the last clip. And now let's do our last one, drop it on this. And now I can easily go to video and I can see that scale is 22. So I put it on these two as well, 22, and this one, 22 as well. And now I just go to this section, guides, and I add a horizontal guide and I just bring it down like this. So I know that these are in the middle. And now I just reposition each of this video into this frame that I have created. And now when I have repositioned all the clips, I'm going to apply a mask and I just go with the rectangle. I just position my mask like so, and I just fit this into this exact frame. So if you're gonna have a different video, you're gonna have to reposition it for your video, but it's super easy. All you gotta do is to apply a mask. Maybe you can add slight feather and you're almost done. And now if you disable these two, you can see that this fits perfectly into this frame. And if you want to move this clip, you just go to basic video and you can just move it lower. But if you move it lower, you also gotta increase the mask a little bit, just like this. And I want to bring this another clip a little bit lower, just so there's my face on the camera, but I still gotta keep this number same, so minus 494. And I also apply a mask. I add a rectangle and I stretch it up like this. And now I just reposition the mask just so the entire video is inside of the frame. Now I just adjust the mask. I also round the corners and I also apply slight feather. And now I have repositioned second clip. So let's do this very first one. And now I can apply a mask. Again, rectangle mask. And now I just make the mask way more bigger. And now I just round the corners, make it a little bit smaller just so it don't cut off these red edges. And now adjust the corners like so and just put feather on 8 so everything stays the same. And now as you can see, if I go back to my timeline, I have a preview of my reels that I have edited in the past, almost done for the hook. All I gotta do is to change the text, and instead of 3 ways to grow your biceps, I'm going with the premium reels in less time, just like so. And now this is my hook, and if I want to change the font, I open this and I just go with any font that I want. And this is my setting that I'm using. You can even do a italic, and you can even increase the font size. And now when I'm looking at it, I would even swap those colors. So premium reels, I would have some nice and blue color. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna deactivate this layer, and the word in less time, I drag in a position where our premium text is, so somewhere here. And now I just drag this premium reels down here in the bottom, and I show you why in a second. Now I just click here in this number 1 paragraph and I just type in less time, just like so. And here I'm just going to type in a premium reels, and I also change the color to blue, and I also deactivate the bold, and I just activate the italic on this, and that looks amazing. For this Helvetica, I want to have it super thin, so let's go with some Helvetica thin font. This one's way better. And now as you can see, I have created my hook, so I can even move it higher, I can even move it lower. I leave it up to you, but this is our hook. You can even change the colors of this red frame. So if you want to go with some bluish color just so it matches the entire thing, you just open this layer, and here you got 4 layers with the red color. So let's go with some purple. So I just copy this code, I go back to this, and I paste the same color code into all these 3 layers. So we have 3 same layers. So this is how you can change color on these graphic hooks, but I want to keep the color red, so I just go back, and I also want to use the same color as I used on my first preset, so that's this one. And I just copy this color code and I paste it here just like so. And now I also want to create a shine effect on this, so I duplicate this layer and I can change the color to white. And now I go to video, mask, and I add a film strip and I rotate it like this. And now I can just zoom this a little bit so I can create a nice and solid shine effect, and not too much because then it's not going to be super visible. And now I want to have it animated from left to right. So I position it off the text, activate keyframe on the mask. I go a few frames forward and I just drag this all the way to the right. And now I open a variable speed animation and I smooth these out. And now we just created our hook just like this using these super cool presets. But for the second part of this video, I want to create this UI animation, get into that now. And for this second part, I want to use this video of my presets and I drop it on the timeline and I make it the same size as my clip, just like so. And now I scale it down a little bit and I also round the corners by using a mask. And now I just make this a little bit smaller. I adjust the mask and I round the corners, and I also want to increase the size of the mask. That's fine. And now when I have created the mask, I want to create a stroke. So I duplicate this layer. I go to video basic and I scale it up to 78. And now I go to adjustment curves and I just bring this white line all the way to the left. I also scroll down in the adjustment setting and I bring this whites to the right, and I also take clarity, and you gotta tweak the setting. And the idea of this is to make it completely white, exactly like this. So highlight, that's the thing. And now I go back to video and I put it on layer number 2. Now, as you can see, we have created a stroke around, but it's so thick. So I wanna go with the mask again and I just adjust the thickness of this stroke just like this. And now, as you can see, we have created a premium stroke around. And now when I'm done, I select both of these and I hold Option G to create a compound. And now it's a time to animate this. I want to have this zoom out on the beginning. So I add a keyframe and I hold shift and I go 15 frames forward and I activate another keyframe. On the first keyframe, I bring scale to 1 and I also set rotation to 25. Now, when you play it, you have this kind of a rotation, but we still have to smooth out these keyframes. Same process, I smooth them out by holding Shift plus E, and I drag this blue line all the way to the left. I do the same thing on rotation. And now, because I don't want to have this in the center, I want to bring it a little bit lower like this. I make sure that it stays in the center, but now I gotta copy this Y position and paste it to my first keyframe, just like this. So it starts happening on the same position. Now, let me just activate the voiceover so I know what I'm saying.
But you can get these exact animated captions in just one click.
And here I want to create animation that this hand cursor points on any of these preset and then we just click. So let's go to assets and I want to drag this hand cursor on the timeline. I cut the end and now I just rotate it like so. Let's zoom this out and I put it off the screen and I want to match it exactly with the voice.
But you can get
So somewhere here, I add a keyframe on transform
this exact
and I bring on the cursor somewhere here. I also want to bring this cursor down here and I want to rotate it just like this. And now I want to create kind of an animation of a hand cursor rotating. So now it looks super weird, but we're going to fix it in a second. And here where I say with just one click, I bring it up here. And now I activate keyframe on transform. I go 1, 2, and I decrease the scale. I go 1, 2, and I increase the scale. And now I go at the end and I just bring it off the screen and I just take this keyframe and bring it all the way to the end. Now we gotta smooth out all these keyframes. And now I just smooth out all these keyframes, but let's just remove this keyframe. The click gotta be a bit more bigger.
in just one click.
So we can see it.
Just
now I
one.
just decrease the scale a little bit. So now when you play it, you can see that it's actual click.
Just one click.
And now here, when I say just one click, I want to have something to show up on the screen. So this gotta be way faster, that movement. So I select the last keyframe on axis and I just bring this blue line all the way to the left. And now when you play it, it makes a super fast movement. So now when I have selected this middle preset, I want to drag the exact preset on the timeline. And now this is in a new update coming on July 1st. So that's this shine effect. I drop it on the timeline and I just trim it up like so. And here where I click exactly here, I want to have saturation to start showing up. So I go to adjustment and I click on a keyframe, saturation, I go 1 frame forward and I just bring this all the way to the left. And now here I want to have this shine to pop kind of out of this screen. So I just position it exactly here, just like so. Okay, and now I just want to time it where I click on this in just one click. Exactly here where I click, I want to have this
Just one
preset
click.
to kind of a zoom out, just like so. So I trim the beginning because I don't need the animation and I just want to animate this preset to zoom in on the screen. So I zoom it up like this and I hit a keyframe on transform. I go 10 frames forward and now I just position it like this. Now I smooth out the
It's
keyframes
one.
and I also adjust the blue line just so there is a
It's one
bounce.
click.
I bring it
It's one
higher like
click.
this. And I also want to have a blur activated on this bottom part. So I go to effects and I drop a blur on the timeline. I trim the end and now here at the end, exactly where this animation start happening, I add a keyframe on 0 and I go 1 frame forward and I bring the blur to, let's say, something around 20. And now I just select this bottom part together with the blur and I hit Option G. So that way
Just
it
one
applies only to this bottom part. But now let's just put our hand to layer number 4 and we also have to put
Just one.
this shine to layer
In
number
just
4.
one click.
And now we have created this kind of animation that you kind of select, boom, it pops on the
Just
screen.
one click.
For this section, what I have just did, I just used any of my older reel and I just used this kind of a B-roll to fit it in. That's it. And now what we got to do is to create a kind of a color changing progression bar that we're going to make for the part. Select your style and adjust it to your brand colors. So I want to create kind of a this progression bar. Let's just use some stickers and we're gonna use a shapes and I just bring it somewhere here. I trim the end just like so. And now I just
Make sure-
have to kind of a shape our progression bar, right? So I just position it like this and I also round the corners. And here I want to create a progression bar. So what I want to do after I stylized and shape my progression bar, let's say this is it. I also add a stroke and I set the stroke to white and I decrease the width to something around 1, 2, just so I have super thin stroke. And now I gotta create kind of a color changes. So I'm gonna do that by going to fill, gradient, and I put the first color red. My middle color, I go with some green color, and now I just set the green into something like this. And my last color, I'm gonna go with blue color, just like so. Just so it creates kind of a all brand colors, right? And now I wanna have a button sliding on this progression bar. So I add another sticker in a shape and I just shape it up like so. I round the corners and I also add a stroke and I put the width on 1, just like this. And I adjust the size a little bit and I also decrease the opacity to create this kind of a glass effect. And now let's just add some text. So I added a text layer and now I just type in a select. I make the font size a little bit smaller and now I just change the font. So let's go with Helvetica and I decrease the character level and I put the bold selection. I'm gonna create a gradient honestly. So I just duplicate this layer and for this one I just go with grayish and now I select compound clip out of both of these text layers and I also let me just disable these stickers and now I just select any of these layer and now I just select this upper layer. I go to mask and I add a split mask and now I can even zoom this timeline a little bit and now I just make this super cool gradient. Now when you're happy with the result you can select both of these layers, create final compound clip. Now you can activate these layers and just create compound clip out of those layers as well. And I'll just put the text on layer number 4 and we have it almost ready. I just want to put it somewhere here. And now I want to have this sliding together from left to right. So I select the text and then the middle rectangle, I create a compound clip and now I just, first thing first, I want to have this popped on the screen. So I add a keyframe, I decrease the scale on 1, shift 10 frames forward, put it on 100, open this variable speed animation, smooth these keyframes out. And now I just take this blue line and I position it like so, so we can create this bounce effect. And now I want to have this coming from left and right. So I add another keyframe on transform and I bring it all the way to the left, just like this. And now I activate keyframe on transform. I go 20 frames forward. And now I activate third keyframe and I bring this to the left. And now I go another 20 frames forward and I just bring this all the way to the right. And now I gotta smooth out these keyframes on axis. So I select all of them and I bring this all the way to the end. And now I just adjust the blue lines so I can create a unique movement. And now when you play it, and now I want to bring this entire animation lower, but because I have already created so many compound clips, I can't do that. So I go to this, let's say third keyframe, and I want to have it somewhere down here. So let's go with on Y's minus 600. And now I got to paste this number to all my 4 keyframes. So I just paste it on Y position on each of these keyframes, including the very last one. And now, as you can see, I have brought this entire movement lower, but I also got to do it with this progression bar. So I just position it like this. This one I don't have to worry about because it has keyframes inside a compound clip, so it's not going to affect anything. Now all you have to do is to comment the word captions. I go back to my presets and I want to add a CTA and I want to use this highlight option. I just trim the end. Now I open this preset and I just got to change the word highlight to the captions because that is the CTA word. And now just so I can position this and fits it exactly, I can adjust all that here. So let's go with this. So it fits exactly. And now when you play it, you have a super smooth CTA. And now I just position it down here. Now I want to use this animated text. So I just take this preset, drop it on the timeline, and I trim the end and just bring it lower like this. All you have to do, now I open it and let's type in all you have. And here I just go to do, all you have to do is I copy this. Now I click away. I click on this layer, paste it, and boom. All you have to do is
the command
all you have to do is
the word.
now I just bring it lower like so.
You are done. All you have to do is
And now I just reposition it.
you're done. All you have to do is the command.
And here I trim the end where this animation shows up. And I also select this text preset. And exactly here where it starts showing up, the second animation, I select fade out.
Is the command.
And now I just set the duration to 0.1, 0.2.
Have to do is the command the word cap. Is the command the word.
I just bring it a little bit higher, just below my chin.
The command the word captions, and I'll send you the link.
For this section where I say I send you the link, you can get all these inside of a Figma. I leave you a free link to download down in the description. And I want to create a bounce effect on this as well. So somewhere here, I decrease the scale to 1. I go 10 frames forward and I bring it the size I want to have it.
All you have to do is to command the word captions, and
I will send
command the word captions.
Here I say I will send you the link. So I just position it like so. I trim the beginning.
Now I'll send.
Now I smooth out these keyframes and I also bring this blue line like so.
Now I'll send you the.
So now we can create this bounce effect and I will send you the link. So I disable this and I bring it lower.
And I will send you the link.
Now, few more final tunings.
It usually takes hours to edit just one premium reel from scratch, but you can get these exact animated captions in just one click. You select.
So here where I say with just one click, I want to take this blue compound clip and exactly here I duplicate this bottom clip and I remove the background by using auto removal. I also got to make sure that I mute this clip. And now exactly here where I say with just one click, I want to have this green color shows in the background. And I also got to make sure that all the layers are lined up correctly. So this is how, but I want to have this a little bit more greenish. So I just bring the opacity to 31.
Options in just one click. You select.
Perfect. I cut the end and I also want to have a red color pops in the beginning. So I just select this pre-built preset. I drop it here. Here I just position it like this. This is the middle keyframe where this animation shows up. So make sure to time it correctly. I duplicate this layer and I remove the background. Now I just position the playhead on this middle keyframe on the red layer. And I gotta make sure that this hook is on layer number 4, just so everything is visible. And I wanna have that blink to happen there a few more times. Now we just gotta time it hours. So here, hours, I position the middle keyframe where I say hours.
Hours to edit just.
Stretch it. And again, I wanna have this be more visible. So I increase the opacity. And now I want to have a second blink.
To edit just one premium.
But this one, I don't want to have too aggressively, but I want to have them one after another. So now I just reposition the keyframes so the blink is way faster.
Hours to edit just.
Perfect. And now for the second blink, I just increase the opacity a little bit. And I also got to make sure that I put the hook on layer number 4. Now final tuning, this one, we got to make a shine effect on this. So I duplicated this compound clip, but we gotta make sure this hand is on layer number 5. Then I go to my upper layer, I go to adjustment and let's go with some curves. And we gotta put the contrast to the left and exposure to the right and highlighting to the right. And now I just go with the film strip and let's see our shine effect. That would do, yeah, that would do. And now I just wanna animate it coming from left to right. So exactly where this animation shows up, I activate keyframe, move it to the right, and boom, move it to the right. Now I just smooth out these keyframes.
You can get these exact animated captions in just one.
Let's do a zoom at the end. So I set a keyframe, I go 10 frames forward, and I zoom this up like so. I smooth out these. Almost done. Few more tweaks, few more adjustments. I select all these clips, including these without the background. And I go to relight and I hit on relight and I select heal backlight and almost done. I just got to do a few more adjustments here. I want to add a adjustment layer on the bottom. So I take a default text layer and I remove the text. I max the font size Now we just add a background. See, this is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning. Like if you want to skip any part, like this is the real source of editing, this final tuning. If you're gonna be editing and watching tutorials, you won't become a great editor, honestly, because you don't know all the things that are behind creating successful videos and making it look pretty good. So this is the thing, adjustment layer on the timeline. We just got to make sure that in each section, it's behind all our assets. And now the reason why I added this layer in the bottom, like when I disable it, you can see the big change, right? So it's definitely an upgrade. I trim it here, I disable it, and you're done. Here I duplicate this clip and I also paste in the green pop-up.
And
here when I say and you're done, here when I say
you're done.
but I gotta make sure I put it on layer behind me. But now in this clip, it's a bit of aggressive. So I just go to blend mode and I decrease it to 18.
And you're done.
Awesome, almost done. And now I just select any of these pre-built presets in a CapCut and I just paste them here. And I go exactly where this red shows up. I just want to have a shake happening exactly on this point. This is the middle keyframe. I match it with this shake.
Takes hours.
And now I do the same thing with this one. I add a shake as well.
Edit just one premium.
And here with the zoom, exactly where the zoom starts happening here in between, I add a blur preset and I decrease the blur to 28. Even lower, let's put it on 9 just so there's a slight
Just
blur.
one premium reel from.
For the transition, let's use this transition that I use a lot. So I paste it here, put it on the layers above, and now I just put it on layer 8, and now I just gotta time it. What I do now, I position my playhead between all these clips. So I wanna have as many of these transition on the screen just so it hides the entire clip.
But you
now when you play it
from scratch,
but it's coming from the bottom and I want to have it coming from the top, so I just rotate it the other way.
Scratch, but you
perfect. And I also add a shake to this, slight shake. I adjust the strength, speed, and I also add a blur to this and I decrease it to 9. And here for the click, I want to use a shake, so I copy this shake, and here exactly where we click, I position my playhead. I always look down to these keyframes and I just position it like so. Now I copy blur, paste it here for the transition.
All you
and
have
I
to
also gotta adjust these texts. So this is my preset, put it on layer 3.
the command the word captions
And this one layer 3.
and I will send it.
And that's it. So here I wanna again do the same thing. Same combo, right? Blur and shake. I mean, this is incredible.
Done. All you have to do is to comment the word captions and I will send you the link.
And here for the zoom, I want to add this little blur exactly where the zoom starts happening. Here I add a blur
and I will send you the link.
Boom. Now I go to adjustment LUT and I select my LUT that I use all the time. I drop it on the timeline and I just gotta decrease intensity to something around 15. Now when you play it,
it usually takes hours to edit just.
Now when you play it, you have a super smooth color grading, and now this is the final result.
It usually takes hours to edit just one premium reel from scratch, but you can get these exact animated captions in just one click. You select your style, drag it on the timeline, match your brand colors, and you are done. All you have to do is to comment the word captions and I will send you the link.